Loving God, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable unto you, my God, my strength, and my Redeemer. Amen. Okay, today, this very day, is the day that every pastor I know dreads. We all dread it. It's the day when we have to discuss tithes. Our reticence comes in several dimensions. We tend to believe that everyone gives as much as they can to support the mission of the church. So, to ask for more is not only fruitless, but it may also be, construed as cruelly making people feel guilty. And we worry that the congregation might think that that they are only valuable for the church for what they can donate. And we think that people might believe that the board's going to waste money on foolish things. And we think that you will believe that all your money will just go to support this fancy church, this fancy building. And we even worry about, when we talk about tithing, the congregation figures that we're just asking for a raise. There may be a little bit of truth in each of those things. Not so much the raise, but anyway. But the idea of giving to the church, whether it's time or talent or treasure, is so much bigger than that. It's huge. My friends, why do you come to MCC? Charles stood up here and talked about why he comes to MCC. We've heard from some other people. So why do you come? And even more so, why are you a member? Do you come here because it's a convenient church and you don't have to travel far? Do you come because someone you know brought you and you decided to just hang around? Do you come because the church you were attending made it very clear that you were not welcome, or that you were only welcome if you hid who you were? Did they use that ever popular love the sinner and hate the sin? Or did it just feel somehow unfriendly? People tell me that they often felt alone in church. That people talk to each other but not to the new person. So, for those reasons, or maybe some other reason, you decided that Milwaukee MCC is the place for you. And you came here, and you continue to come. But you know what? What about those other people? All of those other people who don't know about Milwaukee MCC or about MCC in the world. Those who feel distanced from the church. Some of those people feel that they are not loved by God and that it's their fault. They feel that God somehow made a mistake when they were created. And they know in their hearts that their sexuality or their skin color or their land of birth or their language or something else is a God-given gift. They know in their hearts that God-given gift is not acceptable. Is not acceptable to God. So the question is, how can we reach out to those people and let them know? Let them know that they are loved. Seems simple. You're loved. You're loved. You're loved. We're done. It's not that simple. because we as a community of God are called to reach out, because it's about giving to your family. Giving to your family. Giving to your family to make sure that this place, this family house, this family of God will be here for the next person who needs it. And it does take some money to make sure that that happens. But you know what? There's more to it. There's much more to it. It's not all about supporting our ministries. It's not all about making sure that the building doesn't fall down. These are important things. But what it is it's about being faithful to our small community. It's about giving of ourselves to ensure that others have a place to come, a place to be. And it's about finding within ourselves a way to contribute. You know, we talk about time and talent and treasure. We are called to give of ourselves in time and talent. And we have an amazing amount of participation for a church of our size. You know, most churches figure that if 10% of the people, 10% of the congregation are active in a ministry, then they're doing very well. We have an active participation in this church of somewhere between 20 and 25%, which is really good. But we also have, you know, in and out about 50 people. So that means that maybe 10 to 15 people are active. So we're kind of limited in what we can do with that 10 to 15 people. And we need your time and your talent to make more happen here at Milwaukee MCC. You know, and we also need for you to be aware of what it takes to make the church financially viable. Financially viable. You know, what ministries would you like to see? Does it take people to do that? What does it cost in treasure as well as time? You know, and find a way to make that happen, to help provide it. We're going to invite you to hang around after service. There will even be food. We know that more people hang around if we have food. Okay. But our board wants to talk to you about budgets and treasure. Budgets and treasure. Okay? Because if we're going to figure out what we're going to do next year, it would really be helpful if we knew how much money we have. As opposed to assuming that we're going to have the same amount we have this year. Or assuming that we're going to have, you know, pick a number, 50% more next year. You know, and then trying to build a budget. So what we want you to do is tell us. It is not a contract. Okay? If you write down that you're going to give us $2 a week for the whole year, we'll plan for $104. But if you can't give us $104 this year, that's okay. You know? It's not a contract. If you hit the lottery and that $104 becomes $104,000, that'd be wonderful. But you know, it's about making a commitment to yourself to put something in the basket. Have your bank send a check. You know, all the different ways that we do those things this year. But just trying to figure out what it is that you can afford to give. And if we had, really, if we had 50 to 60% of the people in this church fill out one of those little cards, it would make our job way easier. Way easier. Okay. Because we need to be able to plan. So, stick around, have a bite to eat, and become committed. And I just realized that being committed is maybe not a good thing for some people. So make a commitment. Amen?
Amen.